Good morning. It's about 10 after 7. I just went down and got early morning coffee, they call it, and then breakfast is available starting at 7:30, and that's supposed to be a real sit-down breakfast, and it's included with the stay here. So I'm gonna drink some coffee as I pack my stuff, and then I'm gonna go down and eat, probably come back and shower, and then head on out. I'm not in a huge hurry. I don't know what the deal is. I normally never have trouble sleeping, and I have not slept very good 4 nights in a row now. Last night, I was awake at I don't know, I felt like I was just awake almost all night. Just laying there like half asleep, half not, which isn't good. I really need some good rest, but I don't know. Eventually I'll get tired enough and sleep. So if you remember, we had the half mile off trail to get here, or 0.6 or whatever it was yesterday, and it was dirt and rock. Going back up, it's probably going to be mud and slick rock, because it stormed last night really hard while I was at the pub, and then it rained throughout the night as well. As of now, it's still wet outside, but everything looks like it's starting to dry up. Still pretty up on the mountain. You can see still foggy and that. I would record it and show, but it's cloudy and there's a screen on this window, so you can't really see much. Ooh, guess what? The bathroom window has no screen. I'll do a little quick video out of there. All right. That's Pico Peak up there. That's where the ski slopes were. Let's lean out this way. Now this is actually the way I'm going, because I got to go back up trail and we'll cross down that way. So I believe I'll be walking those mountains over there. Too bad these electrical lines are in the way, but beautiful nonetheless. Okay, it's 8:55 a.m. I was kind of hoping to be walking by 8:30, but as long as I start walking by 9, I knew I'd be good. So, the Inn at the Long Trail is an old, rustic kind of place, but I think it may be my favorite place that I've stayed on trail. You know, a lot of this whole experience, it's just incredible, the people you meet, and you're like fast friends for a day or two, and then you don't ever see them again. So on the top of Bromley, I met 2 girls that were section hiking. Hello, Jill and Sonia, if you ever see this. And then I think it was at Killington, I ran into Jolly Lobster. Didn't really talk to him, but our paths crossed there. And then fast forward several days later, here at the end of the Long Trail, I was sitting there eating, and Jill and Sonia came in, and then Jolly Lobster was here as well. They're all ending their section hikes here. However, we all had some drinks together last night, and then we all just happened to be downstairs this morning, so at the same time for breakfast. So Jill got all of us a table together. It was just a really good experience here. The weather is really iffy today, but man, I'm actually excited to hike for the first time in a while. It's like 72 degrees or something. I think the rain's supposed to be done, although the sky looks ominous. It's breezy. The high today, once I get to some elevation, is like low 70s. The low tonight where I'm headed is like 52 degrees. I'm hoping to do 18.6 today, but it's already 9 a.m., so I don't know. We'll see. But for now, spirits are high this morning. It is a Tuesday morning, and by Thursday, I should be in New Hampshire. Good stuff happening. Back on the AT. Man, that was a 15 or 20 minutes of work that didn't count for anything. It was all uphill. Wasn't horrible. It was just, when it don't count, it makes it seem even worse. So I wanted to explain something yesterday. Well, clarify something I said yesterday. I wasn't sure why it was called the Inn at the Long Trail, because the Long Trail was like over 1.5 miles away. And I was under the impression both trails were still one and went by the Inn at the Long Trail. So the owner last night, who was also the bartender of the Inn at the Long Trail, explained to us that the Blue Blaze that we have to take to get down there is now called the Shelburne Pass Trail. But it used to be the AT. There are reroutes every year, and the total mileage changes slightly from year to year. So the old AT and Long Trail, before they split apart, basically walked right by the parking lot, the Long Trail. Now, I don't know how many years ago, but due to a property ownership issue, they rerouted the AT, and now it kind of makes a horseshoe shape up near Rutland and around the end of the Long Trail. That's the reason for the Blue Blaze, and that's the reason for the Long Trail splitting off in a different place, further away from the end of the Long Trail. Anyway, I thought that was very interesting. I don't think it's hurt their business. They were packed last night. The Irish pub is a big local place as well. They had amazing food. So that's your history lesson for the morning. Now I'm back on the AT moving north. And just because it's cooler, man, the cloudiness in this forest, I don't know if you can tell. I mean, it's just dark in here. And the humidity, ooh, it's still like getting slapped in the face with a towel. It's just not a hot towel. On the other side of the road I just crossed a minute ago, there's a beautiful campground that you walk on the campground road. Walked right by a nice bathroom. I didn't really even need to use it, but I felt like I couldn't pass it up. So Kent Pond is over to the left. And I don't know if you can see it through the trees, but I think we're gonna get a better view up here. I'm gonna take a risk and not walk down there because I think we're going to see it better. Wow, this is so cool. Here we go. This is Kent Pond, just off of the AT at mile 1709. And as I was walking off the trail over to here, I heard a moose bellow, or whatever the sound's called. And it was like amazing. But I don't see it. It's got to be on the other side somewhere. I'm taking a Blue Blaze to Thundering Falls. All that rain last night probably made these look cooler. Ooh, wait for this. Right here's Thundering Falls. I think all the rain last night probably helped. Thundering Falls Boardwalk. This is going to the parking lot where most of the people are driving to. And the leisurely morning is about to end. We're about to have a 1,000-foot climb just outside of the parking lot. Look at this amazing view. The wildflowers, the mountains. We've got the sun and blue skies there, and rain right above me, just a light drizzle. It's 12:30. I'm done with the climb. I just sat right here on this rock and this power line and took a break and had some snacks, and this was my break view. Those are some seriously steep looking ski slopes, the two on the right. I mean, the one that's not very steep is too steep for me, I think. I've never skied. I've seen this on a vlog before, but I had no idea it was coming up. I turned the corner around this rock face, and look at this. It's an aluminum ladder to get down. How cool is that? All right, I'm sitting here filtering water, and I haven't done much videoing this afternoon. I've just been kind of grinding away. The weather's nice, man. It's the humidity's even lower down a little bit. I've seen only one northbound hiker the entire day, and he stopped and camped at 2:30 this afternoon when I was getting water the last time. He said he had seen some others this morning, but he had started much earlier than me from further back. So I don't know if they're coming this way or not. I don't know what happened to that whole bubble of people that I was with before going into Rutland. I know a lot of them were zeroing yesterday, so I thought I'd see them today because I started late but was 2 miles ahead of them. So I don't know. There's nobody out here today, really. I've seen maybe 5 southbounders, and they were real sporadic, like a couple hours between them. So it is 4:20. I'm going to be filtering water, sitting here for probably 10 more minutes because I'm going to fill up all my water. The shelter I was planning to go to still 5.5 from here, so I probably wouldn't get there to 7:30, which is pretty close to dark, because the Lookout, which is not really a shelter, it's a privately owned shelter just off the AT that has a viewing deck with 360 views on the roof. So I plan to stop there and check that out. I thought that there'd be a bunch of people staying there, and there's no tenting, which I'd rather stay in my tent. So I was planning to just stop by there, see that, and then go on, because there's a good amount of tenting, it says, at the shelter 2.5 miles past that. But it's going to be pushing it this evening when I get to that one. The other thing going on is there's a lot of comments lately about some homeless guy named Scott. This kind of just going back and forth between these two shelters. I think he's harmless, but I'd rather not end up at one of them with just me and him. If there's no hikers around, I don't know. I'm sure it's fine. But anyway, I don't know what I'm going to do. It's 2.7 to the Lookout, so I'm going to try to get there. I got a pretty steep climb. I think it's only 600 feet, but it's straight up when I'm done filtering water. And then I'll go there and then see what time it is and feel it out. And I think there's going to be some cell service up there. So I was wanting to check the sunset time because it's getting darker way quicker than it used to, like more than 30 minutes or more quicker. I also want to check the weather tonight and see what that's going to be. So anyway, I'm sure I'll show you around the Lookout when I get up that way. All right, I made it to the top of the Lookout. There's my pack. And there, we're up on the roof. All right, so I was going to go on and do 18.5 today and do 2.5 to the next shelter, but I stopped. I'm going to stay here at the Lookout. Hopefully we get a good sunset. Right now it's only me and 2 other dudes that I've been hiking around for a while, the Glue and Barbarossa. And I'm going to show you in a second here. I got a really cool tent spot. And this cabin's pretty nice too, but I figure if there's a bunch of people, I'd rather just be in my tent. So let me show you this. So I got a decent spot tucked in the trees there. Got my hiking clothes all hanging out to dry. There we go. It's home for the night. All right, so I stopped before 6 p.m., so it's nice. So I have a good evening. Hopefully nobody else comes, but I heard the trouble bubble is on the way. So hopefully they stay in the building and it won't bother me. It's starting to look like rain. There's supposed to be chances of some drizzle tonight and some patchy fog. So since I'm stopped short, I did 16 today. And since I stopped short, I'm going to need to do probably 20 tomorrow. But it's going to be an easier 20 than what we had today. So anyway, looking forward to a good evening here.
The idea was to put this little lookout tower on top of the cabin, but they knew exactly what to do. Mm-hmm. They were like, yeah.
All right, sorry, it's dark before I got around to doing this closeout video. There were 5 of us. Well, there's 4 people at the cabin, and then I'm tenting just below the cabin. So there's 5 of us here tonight at the Lookout. And let's see, we have me, Barbarossa, the Glue, and then Worm and Flipper. So you just saw the amazing sunset from the top of the Lookout, And there's the picture of all of us. All right, have a good night. See y'all tomorrow. Good morning. It's about 15 minutes before sunrise. Just crawled out of my tent, and I'm gonna head back up to the lookout for sunrise. I got bad news. My AirPad, the new one that Sea to Summit replaced a month ago, a couple weeks ago, I had to blow it up like 3 times last night. I'm just having horrible luck with AirPads. I don't know, maybe I'm hoping I can find a Thermarest in this next town in Hanover. If so, I'll buy a Thermarest regular Neo Air and send this sucker home. Deal with patching it later. I think this is all we're gonna get for a sunrise as we go pack up and get to walking. It is 6:30 and I am on the Blue Blaze side trail that came up to the lookout, but I'm going back down to the AT. I'll be heading north. There's a shelter 2.5 miles from here that I have to stop at for water. Looks like there's only 2 water options today for the total day. I'm gonna get fill up in 2.5. I don't have hardly any now because I only had 2 liters for the last couple miles last night and all night and this morning. So in 2.5 miles, I'll drink some, fill up both my bottles. 7 miles after that, so 9 miles into the day, there's water, so I'll do the same. And then it doesn't look like there's any water till we get to West Hartford, which is a tiny town where there is a lady who will let us camp at her house. Apparently she has a barn that it says there's a barn with beds in it, but you can also tent. So we'll see that situation when we get there. Got about 20 miles total, 20 AT miles. So plus whatever on the side trails. So yeah, that's all I got for now. I just realized today is August 10th. That means it is my 5 months on trail. It's crazy. You know, some people finish the trail in 5, or some real crazy people even like 4 months, but I mean some people sooner than that, like these FKTers and fastest known time, people that are racing, but average is 6 months. Some people take 8 or 9 or more, but most will take about 6. Today is 5 months. 5 months since I started the approach trail. So I guess actually when I really started hiking ET would have been the 11th, but I was at Springer on the end of the day on the 10th, so I call that my start date. And I'll be in New Hampshire tomorrow morning, or should be, so yeah, that's all. I've made it to, well, I don't know why, it's feeling emotional. 5 months. 5 months is a long time to live in the woods. Yeah, I've been in hotels and hostels and that. But that's for a night or 2 at a time. Like, by and large, I've been living in the woods in a tent that weighs 20 ounces for 5 months. It's a long time, kids, a long time. Just went on a little 30-minute adventure. So the shelter that was supposed to have water, or does have water, was just off that side trail. The shelter is a 1/4 mile off trail. Get on there, there's a sign on the left side of the shelter that said water. So I follow this trail, and it's completely dry stream bed. So I come back up and look at the gut hook comments on my phone, and it says, don't pay attention to somebody put on there, don't pay attention to the signage, there's no water. But if you go another trail from the shelter, there's a pipe spring. So I went and got water. It took me a little bit to get it and filter it and all that, but so half mile off trail to and from the shelter that don't count, and then on both little trips from the shelter to get the water. Anyway, I'm back on the AT heading north, and that shelter was down a hill. Didn't seem that bad going on to it, but coming up, when the miles don't count, they just seem so much harder. Ooh. I think I still have 17 and a half to go today. It's still early. I think it's only like 10 minutes after 8 or quarter after 8 or something. I'm almost afraid to say it. The first 6 or so miles today, the trail has been amazingly kind. It's just nice tread. There's really no rocks and roots. Oh, I assumed it was going to just get worse and worse. It was interesting. All the Sobos I've been talking to prior to Rutland were talking about how easy it's been since they got to Vermont. And I was thinking, well, it's been gradually getting harder and harder. And, you know, we're almost to New Hampshire and southern Maine, which are the hardest parts of the trail. So now I know why they were saying it was so easy. Yesterday was pretty kind. And it was 4,600 feet of climbing over 16 miles. And most all of that was in the last 10 or 11 miles. Today, there's only like 4,200 feet stretched pretty evenly over 20 miles. So man, that coupled with the cooler temps this morning, I think the high today is like around 70. Today has been good so far. It's only 9:30 a.m. But today has been an amazing day. So about 0.3 miles from here, there's a trailhead on that road, and that is the trailhead for Woodstock, Vermont. Really cool little farm down there. Okay, so I've had an idea in my head today about fixing this air pad, because I'm not going to do like I've done before and had to deal with it for several nights. So I'm going to turn this camera around and show you what I'm doing. I just found the hole in a creek, so I stopped. I didn't really want to waste time doing this, but I knew I'd think myself if I do this. So I found a little pool in the creek that was fairly calm and clear. I blew my mattress all the way up, submerged it in parts, found the hole. There was some trail magic right there, but all right now it's just a bunch of empty cans of Diet Coke. There's nothing there. There's a road right up here. So I'm gonna let this pad dry and patch it. Maybe I'll patch it tonight. No, I think I'll go ahead and take care of it all right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that, dry it off, get it patched, get packed back up. I still got probably 9 or more miles to go. So, all right, just want to let y'all know I'm a little over halfway done today. And those first 6 miles were heavenly. The last 4 or 5, oh, miserable. Lots of real steep ups. All right, so Vermont, you know, is where they make all the maple syrup, or syrup. So I walked over here off the trail because I've been seeing these. So here's a tap. I guess it goes through these tubes. And there's one on each side of the tree. And these tubes go all the way down the hill. There's quite a few of them, all set up on this hillside. And I guess it all runs downhill to some kind of collecting tank or something. Tapper, if you ever watch these videos, you have to explain to me how that works sometimes. All right, I gotta get back on the trail and keep climbing. I'm up on a high spot. Finally get some decent cell signal, so I stopped to check some comments and check some couple things. Decent view back this way. And I have 7.4 miles to go still. And it's about 2:15, and I've got, I don't know, 3.5, 4 hours of hiking to go. Just depends on terrain and whatnot. My feet hurt. I'm sitting here taking a break. I've only got 2 miles left to get to town. Well, it's not really town. It's an old town that I think there's no businesses there. But this is where there's a trail angel named Linda who lets people stay there, and there's water at her house that people can get. So everybody that stayed at the Lookout last night, all 5 of us were all going there. I haven't really seen any other northbounders today. There may be some southbounders or some northbounders that were closer this way that are stopping there. I don't know. We'll see how many people are there. It's been a fairly long day. It's 5 o'clock now. I started hiking at 6:30 in the morning. Get 2 miles left. That'll give me 20 for the day. Plus I fixed my air pad, which took a little bit, and brakes and whatnot. But, you know, for the most part, my body feels good and fresh. It's just my feet hurt. You know, I haven't had a 0 since I've been back on trail. I did take a very short knee road the other day, and then I've just done like 16 and 20. Then tomorrow, not that I really need a break, but it's going to be Hanover, New Hampshire, and I'll be in New Hampshire tomorrow. And I want to kind of explore Hanover and spend some time there. So I should only have 9 miles, I think, in the morning to get into Hanover. And then I also plan the next day to just do a short day out. I think it's only like 11 miles out to another place. So I don't plan to leave town until midday, and just kind of bum around. So I'm looking forward to exploring Hanover, New Hampshire. And if you're not aware, that's where Dartmouth University is. I better get up and walk these last 2 miles. All right, just exited the woods. And now on a road walk. I'm getting pretty close. Probably a quarter of a mile or less. All right, coming down into West Hartford, Vermont. And there's a little blue building on the right side with an AT logo on top. And that is supposed to be Trail Angel Linda's place where I'm gonna camp. Let's see. Okay, made it to Trail Angel Linda's house, and guess what? I'm doing something I haven't done in like almost 7.5 years. Drinking a soda. I don't know why. I've said no to everyone offered this whole trip, and today I just didn't. So, and it is a citrus dew, and it's good. And let me tell you, as soon as I walked into this place, Linda introduced herself and said, "Hey, they're ordering pizza. Do you want to order anything?" So far, this is an amazing evening. Hopefully the soda doesn't make me sick. Wow, that citrus dew is good. All right, everything's set up. Sun is setting. The pizza place decided they wouldn't deliver, but someone took a shuttle and went to go get the whole order. So hopefully I'm having pizza for dinner. I didn't cook anything. So I'm gonna go and close it out here tonight and go hang out with some people. And they have Wi-Fi here, so I'm gonna mess with that a little bit. And then, yeah, that's it. It was a good day. This will be my last night in Vermont. So come back tomorrow because I'll be walking into New Hampshire. See y'all later.